What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to review the state of play. I want to go over the positives, the negatives. I know I promised a video very, very early, and here we go. So, really quickly, I want to jump directly in. I will have another video tomorrow, probably one on this channel, one on the second channel, talking about two of the bigger things we got at the state of play. Make sure, obviously, you're subscribed here, bell icon turn on so you know all these videos go up. And also, if you guys want to subscribe to my second channel, the link for that's always in the description below, but just so you guys don't miss out on videos over there. All right, the first half was extremely weak. I don't think there's any way of going around it. I was very terrified. Remember, earlier today, we read out a leak that came from, I believe, Discord that listed 10 games that were going to be there, and they actually were pretty accurate. They didn't have a couple of them, but most of them they did have, and we had said, I even said, like, I'm just going to pretend that leak doesn't exist. A lot of people are saying that leak isn't actually going to happen. Those people were wrong, okay? Obviously, a lot of this stuff was that was predicted. Returnal was there. Again, do we need Returnal? Not necessarily. I'm a huge fan of it. I'm not saying it's a bad thing that Returnal was there. I love watching it. I cannot wait to play it. That Knockout City, that dodgeball game, I've been interested in that since they announced it. At the same time, well, okay. We can boil down each game. I don't really want to do that. What I will say is, again, first half, I understand it was very weak. I don't think it's probably what anybody wanted to see, including myself. It just wasn't good. I would say that. And I would say it wasn't good subjectively in that I know a lot of people, including even myself, were kind of expecting a little bit bigger. Now, what I will say is the second half was incredible. I've always called it Kenna. I've always called her Kenna. The developers have messaged me multiple times. They've commented on my videos. They've messaged me on Twitter, stuff like that. I can't believe they've never corrected me. Kina, Bridge of Spirits, okay? I've been a fan. I've been a, whatever word you want to use, is like a big supporter of that game since day one, okay? Now, I want to make a specific video, again, either tomorrow on this channel or on the second channel. We'll talk about this game specifically, so I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I'm in love with this game. I've always loved this game ever since we first saw, I mean, as much as you can say love without playing the game, right? Everything we saw at this state of play blew it out of the water. I cannot wait. Massive delay. August 21st, I believe is the date. Insane. It was supposed to come out in March. It was actually supposed to come out last November. So huge delay. That sucks, but you know what? Give it as much time as humanly possible. It looks so amazing. Deathloop. Deathloop literally looks like Dishonored, and I'm not the biggest fan of Dishonored, but Deathloop looks like a faster, more action-oriented Dishonored, which I'm actually all for. I'm very excited for this game. So I would say this one, it was like, you know what? I'm not expecting much from Deathloop. If they didn't show you anything of Deathloop leading into the release, I'd probably still be relatively okay, but then I think they actually did a really, really good job showcasing it. And then obviously Final Fantasy. So I love the way that Final Fantasy did it. I was terrified, and we've had this talk multiple times. I've been terrified for a while of how do you do what Final Fantasy VII is going to try and do with the upgrade. You do an upgrade. Do you have us buy it again? If there's DLC, well, how does that work? Is it worth it? They actually took the middle option. Again, I may talk about this in a video separately. They took the middle option. They said you get, if I have it, okay, a lot of people have it, you get the free upgrade on PS5, and then you can buy the Yuffie DLC separate. I actually am a huge fan of that. I love that, and I'm good. I'm good. Now, that's the show. Again, obviously the beginning was pretty weak, and it wasn't what everybody wanted to see. What I want to say now is what people probably wanted that people didn't get. There was a person who talked about God of War Ragnarok and called me a name, so I'd like to reach out to that person if he's watching and say, well, you were wrong. So I just want to throw that out there. But no, I mean, look, God of War, we had said, don't expect it. Horizon, I was really hoping for Horizon, but you know what? They show us Returnal. They show us Kena. They show us Final Fantasy. Those are three big ones over the next... And we already know Ratchet, okay? Those are some big games up until August. You have Horizon after that. Gran Turismo's delayed out of it. You still have Ghostwire Tokyo. Deathloop, right? I just mentioned that. You have Ghostwire Tokyo in October. You have Stray. You have Little Devil Inside. Some of those, by the way, are in the summer. So you have a fair amount that we've seen, even if they weren't shown at the state of play. I wanted Horizon. I'm not all that disappointed Horizon wasn't there. We talked about it. I didn't really want Ratchet and Clank. I've had enough of the game, not in like a bad way, like, oh my god, please stop. But it's like, you know what? I know what that game is. I know I'm going to love it. I know that that game is probably going to be really good. That's it. You don't need to show me another 10-minute gameplay. So that Ratchet & Clank not being there is fine. God of War, again, God of War is not releasing this year. Okay, I've been saying it since September. People have not liked me saying it. That's okay. We don't always have to agree, but I think I'm going to be more and more right as this year goes on. God of War, never expected. And then again, we talked about Gotham Knights. We talked about Hogwarts Legacy. I mean, I think it was pretty clear as the state of play went on. These are games exclusive to PlayStation. Now, some of them, like Oddworlds, and I think even that Knockout City, that's not even just on PlayStation as like the console, but some of them are only on PlayStation as a console. Even like Kena Bridge of Spirits is on PS4, PS5, and also PC. They didn't really mention the PC part, but it obviously it does come. Actually, at least last time they said it does come to PC. So, you know, like I wanted Hogwarts, obviously. I wanted Gotham Knights, obviously. I know a lot of people are looking forward to those two games specifically. But again, I would say if we're rating it, I don't really do this, but let's try and rate this thing. I would give it like a C. I would say, or if you give it out of a 10, probably a 5. I think that even the games that they did show, even that martial art one where the guy's beating, I don't even, I don't want to say it wrong, but that one actually looked kind of cool. Now, is it something that everybody wanted to see versus, again, Horizon or God of War or The Last of Us multiplayer wearing God's name? Has that gone right? There's definitely still some questions. I think, you know, as the state of, this is the last thing I'll say. As the state of play was going on, as we actually hit right before Kena, I was thinking, all right, I'm trying to think of like the video, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to kind of structure this as like it was terrible. And not even terrible because of the games, because again, as I've said, some games are going to work with some people and they're not going to work with others, and that's literally how video games are. I don't think you can really get mad at that. But you don't do a state of play after September's and after June's. Those were the last two. And then you do one now, and it's really not even anywhere near close to those two levels, right? You know you're going to get people mad. You know what I mean? There's a unspoken, even though it is spoken, I spoke on it in a video, you guys have spoken on it online, but there's like an unspoken like anticipation for it and a hype level of, and quality, right? We expect it to be as big as September and June. And I don't know if they should have come out and said, because again, like I will tell you right now, I'm not disappointed. I got kind of the majority of what I wanted. Deathloop surprised me. Kena looks absolutely mind-blowingly amazing. And then Final Fantasy was awesome. So I got what I didn't need Ratchet & Clank. Horizon I wanted, but if it wasn't there, it's okay. I wasn't expecting Hogwarts, Gotham Knights, or God of War. So for me, the show kind of crossed all, you know, checked all the boxes where it's like, that's fine. You know, I didn't, it wasn't the best thing ever. It wasn't as good as September's, which obviously had Hogwarts, had God of War, had a lot of other stuff. It wasn't as good as June's with Miles and all of this different stuff, right? Actually, that's where Kena Bridge of Spirits was actually announced back then. It wasn't those, but it, and I get it if you wanted it to be that. You know what I mean? That's why I think I would give it kind of like a 5. Half of it was good, half of it was not good. Overall, it probably wasn't to the expectations of people, which, you know, it's subjective. Some people would expect some big things, some small things. So I would say it was fine. I don't really need more state of plays like this. If you're gonna wait half a year, and this is probably where the majority of people would maybe, or I would agree with me, the majority of people. If you're going to wait 6 months to do a state of play, you got to give it your all. You know what I mean? And so what does that mean? Again, maybe you do reach out and you get third-party games that aren't exclusive. Maybe you do show us Horizon. Maybe you do announce a brand new game. Is there an Uncharted game going on? Is there this game? Is there that game? Show us one of them. You know what I mean? And again, I'm not trying to discredit what they showed, but if we're trying to measure it up based off of the last two, we do expect a pretty big thing, right? So let me know in the comments below, guys. What do you think? Can you finally hop aboard my hype train for Kena Bridge of Spirits? Let me know. As always, again, make sure you're subscribed, bell icon turn on. I will have a video probably on Kena and on Final Fantasy VII. Those will be tomorrow on both the channels, so make sure you guys are watching out for those, okay? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video.